Hey everyone. So I basically wanted to talk about, in this video, the recent Bryan Starzzzz interviewing Never Shout Never, because I'm not a fan of Never Shout Never. I'm not really like a fan of his music or anything, but I watched the first interview with him and I loved it. It was just amazing, and like I watched it all the time because I thought it was just incredible. I thought he was amazing. I thought he was funny. Christofer Drew, that is. I thought he was funny. I thought it was all just like so inspiring. And so I really loved it. And so I was really looking forward to the second one that Bryan Starzzzz was, the second time Bryan Starzzzz was going to interview them. And I was extraordinarily disappointed because Christofer Drew was a douche to him, like, right off the bat. And, like, Bryan Starzzzz made a video a while back after the first interview talking about how he thought Never Shout Never might break up because Christofer Drew went to the AP magazine. They had an interview where he talked about, like, how he I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was talking mostly about how he kind of almost wished he wasn't like in a famous band so he could just like relax and not do anything. So Bryan Starzzzz was asking, like, does this mean that they're breaking up? Are they thinking about breaking up? What's going on? I don't know. I hope they don't. I like the band. Whatever. He never said that they are breaking up or they have broken up. He just asked if they were, because that's what the guy, Christofer Drew, was implying in one of his interviews that is on paper in a magazine. And so, like, right off the bat, Christofer Drew in the second interview was like, oh, I hear you're starting rumors about us breaking up. I want you to know that we're not breaking up, and it was really uncool of you to do that, blah, 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 blah. And Bryan Starzzzz told him, I didn't say that you were, I was questioning if you were because it sounded like you were in an interview. I don't know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make it seem like I was telling all your fans that you broke up. I wasn't trying to start any rumors or anything. And so then he tried asking, some of his questions, and there were three guys there, and I don't know the other guys. I know there was one with a mustache that was like really proud of his mustache, and one guy that was like a total douche, like, as well, because he didn't say anything. He just kind of like looked off camera and looked all pissed off all the time, like through the entire thing. And anytime Bryan asked him a question, he would just kind of whatever it, like he would give one-worded answers and then just move on, not care about whatever. So Bryan stopped asking him questions and started paying attention to his other guys. And Bryan Starzzzz, he asks questions that are goofy and funny and totally random and out there, like they're questions that fans ask. Like, he goes and makes a video and makes a tweet being like, what questions do you want me to ask these band members? I will ask them. He writes them all down. He then picks which ones. So they're questions that we want to know. They're not just random questions he's making up. But Christofer Drew was like, these are bullshit questions, and we're real musicians. You need to ask us real music, and blah, 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 blah. And Bryan was like, well, I have always asked these goofy questions. If you remember from our first interview, these are very similar questions. I have serious questions. I just, get to them. I have a process that I follow. And the guy was totally just, didn't even care. He was pissed off from the very start. He was acting like a jerk. And then he gave all of these stupid, cheesy answers of like, oh, I don't believe anyone should have an ego. Egos are stupid and everyone should kill their ego. Meanwhile, he's got like the highest ego ever. And then he was saying stuff like, we're real musicians, we're into our music's legit, and blah, 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 blah. And saying that, oh, and then he was like, Bryan asked him, like, I don't remember which song, but he was asking, what was the reasoning behind this? Like, what were you thinking about? And I was like, oh, I just went in my room and got high, and then I wrote it. Like, okay, he wanted him to ask you real questions, and so you're just like, oh yeah, I just got high and wrote a song. Period. There was nothing else behind that. Just like, that's stupid. And then he was like, oh yeah, I have this tattoo of, like, red hawk thing because that's my spirit animal. I went to this shaman, and I feel like he said it was like in Kentucky or Alabama or something. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but it's like, really? Okay, I guess, because like I'm all for spiritual world and all that, but I don't know, just going to like some shaman. It feels like you just, again, went in your room and got high and was like envisioning an eagle or something and was like, you know what, I'm gonna get that tattooed on my neck. This is totally righteous, man. Pissed me off the whole time. And he was such a jerk to Bryan Starzzzz. And he made Bryan Starzzzz cry because he was like, you ask bullshit questions and you're making a mockery out of real bands because we're real musicians. You haven't asked you've been focusing all on me. When he asked everyone questions, one guy didn't answer any of his questions. The other guy seemed to play around. I mean, he wanted to get to the serious questions, but he still answered the goofy questions. He seemed totally fine with that. It pissed me off because then he made Bryan Starzzzz cry. And I know I just said that, but it really upset me because Bryan's amazing. You don't make him cry. He has dedicated his life basically to interviewing our favorite bands and like going on and Bryan Starzzzz, I think, doesn't interview bands. He interviews people in bands so that the fans know who exactly is behind the music, who are we looking up to as a person. Because I can go to any other interviewer and see, oh, this is what they're doing now, they're tracking this was their most inspirational song, they love whatever. I can get the basic facts about a band from anyone. I can't find out what Andy Biersack or Ronnie Radke. I can't go anywhere else and find what their porn star name will be because no other interviewer asks that. They ask, what's the reasoning behind your name of a band? Who are the members? What songs are you working on currently? Stupid stuff like that. Like, I don't really care about that much. Because, I mean, I do, but once I find out, I don't want to hear it over and over again. I want new stuff. I want funny stuff. I want to know what kind of person they are. I want to know if they're nice or if they're a jerk, which I found out about Christofer Drew. That whole interview pissed me off. And then I think Christofer Drew, we need to just take away his weed, get him to sober up, and then look back at both of those interviews and remember that he was a cool guy once. He was a funny, awesome guy, and now he's a dick. And he made a grown man cry because he made fun of his work and said that his job is a joke and he's just trying to make bands look bad, which he isn't. He's trying to make band members look like everyday human beings, people who don't have egos, who just want to make music because that's what they love to do. And Christofer Drew just made fun of him and made him cry, and then was like, I made this interview's for you fans, not for the Bryan Starzzzz, which it was always for the fans. It was never for Bryan Starzzzz. So it really upset me. And this was just my opinion on it. I don't think I'll be a fan of Never Shout Never because after I know how they are in real life, even if they make the best music ever, no, I'm not attracted to that anymore. They're stupid. They're stupid and mean.